I support small businesses and nonprofits around the country with grant writing strategy, proposal development, and funding readiness. Today, I want to share something important. Grant writing is not about writing. It's about preparation. If you want to apply for multiple grants efficiently and actually win them, organization is what determines your success. Now, many organizations think that they just need a good writer, but the writing is actually a small percentage of the process. What funders are really evaluating is your structure, your financial health, your strategy, and your impact. A quick note, every grant process is different. Some funders require a letter of inquiry or an LOI before inviting you to submit a full proposal. Think of the LOI as an introduction, not the full story. One mistake I see often is organizations putting their entire proposal into the LOI. Do not do that. The LOI is meant to open the door, not give away everything upfront. Now, let's talk about what you actually need in place to run a successful grant program. If you want to be grant ready, you will need documents in 4 major categories. The first major category is legal and compliance. These documents validate that your organization is legitimate and in good standing. First, your articles of incorporation or organization. This is the official document filed with your state when your business or nonprofit was formed. It shows your legal structure, whether you're an LLC, corporation, or nonprofit entity. Next, you want to have on hand your EIN confirmation letter from the IRS. This verifies your federal tax ID number. If you are a nonprofit organization, you will also want to have your 501c3 determination letter on hand, which determines your tax exempt status. You may also have a DBA, which is a doing business as. If your legal entity is, for example, Townsend Consulting LLC, but you operate publicly as RazTown Consulting, your DBA filing shows that those two names are legally connected. Further, vendor verifications. Depending on your industry, you may need these. For example, if you are approved as a vendor with the Department of Education or any city agency, having that documentation demonstrates that you've already been vetted by a government entity, like the DOE or the Department of Education. Lastly, this is for many of you out there. If you are certified as a minority-owned or woman-owned business, that certification can really strengthen your proposals, especially for corporate or public funders prioritizing diverse businesses. Bottom line, serious funders use these documents to confirm credibility. If you can upload them immediately when requested, it signals professionalism. The next set of key documents that you want to have on hand are your financial documentations. These may be even more important than the first set. Unfortunately, this is where many organizations and companies get exposed. Funders want to see financial stability and clarity. There are a couple of documents that can demonstrate financial health, and here they are. First, your tax returns. You want to have at least 3 years of tax returns on hand. This shows consistency and operational history. Now, if you're a new business and you have yet to file taxes, but you are operating, the next set of documents you're going to want to have are your profit and loss statements. Your profit and loss breaks down revenue streams and expenses. Next, funders may ask you for a budget. All right, this could be your projected income and expenses for the upcoming or the current year. For example, you project $750,000 in revenue and outline how it will be allocated across staffing, operations, programming, marketing, etc. This becomes even more important if you have a business with multiple revenue streams or many verticals. This level of clarity demonstrates financial maturity. The next category is organizational structure and strategy. Funders invest in leadership and vision, not just ideas. You should be able to show this through a number of documents, like an organizational chart. Now, every business is structured differently, but it could be important and it should be important to you to understand what your organizational flow looks like. Program descriptions are next. If you have multiple verticals in your business or you're operating multiple programs from a nonprofit, each should have a written description outline purpose. The last piece, and this is uber important, are your goals. You should have clear, short, mid, and long-term goals. My advice is for your short-term goals to be between 6 and 12 months, your midterm goals to be between 1 to 3 years, and your long-term goals to be between 3 to 5 years. When you are able to articulate growth clearly, funders feel confident that you're building something sustainable, not reactive, not temporary. This is the last category, and sometimes this is difficult for folks to track. Impact and performance applies to nonprofits and for-profits alike. Just because you are a revenue generating operation doesn't mean that you don't have community impact. Funders are looking for measurable results. For example, who are you serving? How many people are impacted? What measurable outcomes are you achieving? If you're a for-profit, you still need to demonstrate impact. That could look like job creation, neighborhood revitalization, serving underserved populations, partnering with local schools or organizations. Impact aligns your mission with funders' priorities. Alignment is what wins grants. All right, so I've already given you tons of information about how to create a strong foundation and win grants. Grant funding is not about free money. It's about investment. Funders invest in organizations and companies that are organized, strategic, and impact-driven. If you want to apply for grants confidently and consistently, you need your foundation in place first. To be honest, pursuing grants can feel daunting and monumental because of all of the things that you need to be ready to win the grant. If you're unsure of whether your organization is ready to pursue funding, I invite you to schedule a free discovery call by clicking the link below. Together, we can assess your current structure and identify what needs to be strengthened so you can pursue funding strategically. I'm Raz, and I look forward to supporting and advancing your mission.